Okay, guys, we're going to see if this thing is going to work this time. I think I got some things fixed, and we're looking good. Wow. We're actually looking good in multiple areas here. So this is incredible. Thank God for AI that allows you to just go after all the culprits that need to be addressed. And so here we are. I'm doing the live stream, guys. And so I hope you guys are able to come back on this deal and join the live stream with me. So as you jump on, guys, go ahead and comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And let's get this party started. So as I mentioned, guys, I had a couple of people share testimonies inside my private community about the prophetic coin or the prophetic dream that I had. I think it was a week ago, and where the Lord showed me that a coin was going to go up significantly. And it has since increased by about 120% in profits in a week. So that's really, really exciting. And of course, I'm not your financial advisor. These are just things that God shares with me. It's not necessarily encouraged for you to just run and jump, into anything that I feel is prophetic. That's how this works. But the link to my private community is, of course, in the description section below if you're interested in joining. I had one testimony where, and please remember, not everybody gets in and gets out at the same time. Some people are comfortable exiting, and I encouraged everybody to take profits if they were going to get in, because it's always encouraged to take profits. One guy says, I made over 50% profit on that coin, and then I rolled some of those gains over into another coin. One guy says, I am up 80% since I bought it. Thanks a lot, Pastor John. So that is really, really cool. That is really, really cool. And whoops. However, God is good. And I'm about to share with you guys literally what is the last day, okay, of this opportunity that you need to know about if you don't, okay? Guys, let me just say to you, for me, having access to these indicators has just been exceptional. All right? So I don't anticipate, not having an issue on the live stream when I'm opening up my screen and sharing it. It just glitched out, but it looks like it's all back to normal. It doesn't appear I'm glitching anymore. But nonetheless, guys, this is and I just saw that somebody either took advantage of joining my private community just now. And so I want to reiterate as well before I move forward that, the private community is a place where you don't just join and then just jump into any old thing. You got to get to know the process. You got to get to know the prophetic. You got to get to know all the variables that go along with it. I have a welcome video in there that kind of sets the preliminary stage or the table for those that are entering into that private community. That being said, please also remember, I am not your financial advisor. And, so that private community is specifically for just journeying, in a fashion where you get to watch some of the prophetic insights that I feel the Lord is sharing with me unfold. And it's up to you to determine whether they unfolded accurately or inaccurately. And so we've just had an incredible time inside the private community. have been stewarding this for quite a while. And last week's dream about that specific coin going up has been fulfilled in a very, very nice way. 120% increase since that dream in only a week's time is obviously extraordinary. But that being said, let me get into these indicators real quick. It's going to glitch for a second. Actually, not so much because I already had it sharing. Okay. And so I just had to bring it on the screen. So these are the three indicators, guys, that I want to bring to your attention. Okay. Number one, these volume bubbles, guys. Okay. Listen to me. The sale on these ends today, guys. And this is why I have to do my due diligence to make sure that these get on here to you guys, because I've suffered many times the condition of wanting something but not bad enough until it went off sale. And then I was like, man, I really, really should have taken advantage. And I ended up buying the inflated price, right? And it just happens. Sometimes you don't actually catch the vision until after the sale ends. And I don't want that happening to people. So I'm going to continue to show this. Today's the last day. The volume bubbles I went over before my last live glitched. It's these things that I'm causing to reappear and disappear on the chart to show you guys that, what they are. But these are big. These are to tell you of whale movement that is occurring. And what this actually detects is abnormal movement. Abnormal movement, okay? Okay, all of these indicators work best on the daily chart or on the 4-hour chart, according to the creator of these indicators. They all come with their own ability to set alerts or signals, as they call them, to let you know that there's whale movement occurring. But look at this. This is something that is important for you to know, because watch this. These are all different days. In fact, let me go ahead and bring the candles back so that you can see the candles where these bubbles are. Okay. So you've got all these days where there's no real abnormal movement. Okay. But look at that green bubble, right? Look at these red bubbles. These are big activities that that this indicator basically detects as being abnormal volume, not normal based upon the historical data and where we are in the market. And so sometimes that can be a very, very big tool, especially if you're looking to get in the market or what have you, and all of a sudden there's big whale dumping activity, as you can see here. Okay. And so it doesn't signify things on every single day. And that's what I wanted to point out. And some days are obviously much less than others, even on those bubbles. Okay. When they do appear. So this one obviously is not as big of activity as this one, right? And vice versa. So now I'm going to get rid of the candles again, and we're going to get rid of the volume bubbles. Okay. And you can get these alerts on your phone, guys, to basically tell you when there's big whale activity happening. And please remember that these tell you a lot more than the traditional total dollar volume indicators, which is very common, very standard. Some would say, well, I could just use that indicator. Well, no, you can't, because this detects whale volume that's not always picked up on traditional total dollar volume indicators. Okay. That being said, whoops, wrong one. Let's get rid of the volume bubbles and go with what would be my personal favorite. Okay. That is markets. It's based upon emotion. Every single market is the trades are based upon emotion. And so that being said, this one tells you where we're at in the market when you're in fear or when you're in greed. Obviously, it can show you historically where we were in the market. It picked the greed right here. All of this red that you see is basically this indicator calling the tops, okay, before each dip historically. Look at this. Okay. And so oftentimes it can be a signal, especially if you're a swing trader, to know. Now, in a bull run, obviously, you'll continue to see, it breaking its previous high when you're in a bull cycle. So, however, this can encourage you to take profits and not to get greedy, because you can see that the rest of the market is getting greedy. And that's when you know that basically things are overbought. Okay. And that's why this market cycle highs and lows is such a powerful indicator. And also, likewise, you can see when it gets into the fear territory, like down here. Watch this. Look at all this fear right here, guys. Okay, that turquoise blue right there. And then one little tiny neon green right here, which is max fear. So it got into max fear right here before it went up. Bitcoin did 380%, people, 380% and more, because we didn't even get all the way to the top. I have to shrink up my screen. Let's go ahead and figure out what that looks like. Okay. 659% on Bitcoin. On Bitcoin, people. Okay. 659% on Bitcoin. So could you imagine having been able to time the market, which is what this indicator is doing? Look at this, which is what this indicator is doing. Now, I've got to tell you, past results can never guarantee future success. Please understand that. But look at this. According to market sentiment, okay, this signified the bottom beautifully, absolutely beautifully. Okay, even if you would have got in here at the top of it when it first started getting into the fear, right here, you still would have gotten just crazy profits, guys, if you would have been patient and held out, because this markets are always based upon emotion. It's just the historical fact, guys. Okay, please understand. Same thing over here. When you see the fear right in here, boom, this range kept jogging. And look, even when it went into fear, this is what I tell you guys all the time. Even when it went into fear, it went down lower. And that what people are like, oh, the indicator failed. Oh, did it? All right, we should be back to life now. Yeah, that thing was really struggling on power there. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. You can see here, and this is what I try to tell people all the time too, especially on some of these other coins where we've seen them in the fear zone. It can actually go lower, right? Like right here where it started to enter. Let me show you. Right here where it started to enter the fear zone, okay, at when Bitcoin was, look, 5,400, okay? It went lower, and it even went into max fear. And, people could say, oh, I don't know, like this thing, the indicator failed. Oh, yeah? Let's see how it failed. Let's start out right here. And let's just go to this bump here, right? If you would have trusted the indicator, potentially, that's over 138%, guys. Whoops. It's over 138%. And that one was in November of 2018. And that would have been June of 2019. So 7-8 months. 7-8 months, you would have gone basically 140% roughly. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, and so anytime you can enter the market on a particular coin, stock, Forex, precious metal, this works on everything. Okay. And so basically you've got another section here where it was in fear. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, guys, is that, if you want to get wealthy, okay, it's important to be able to understand the power of various tools like this. Not everybody has the discipline, to recognize the value of what this tool consists of, because, some people would only look at Bitcoin, this one chart. They don't want to wait, that long. Like, that was 7 months, guys. And it was 120% gains. I don't know where else you can find. Now, that's just Bitcoin. And somebody might say, well, look at how it's only happened twice on Bitcoin in the past, 6 years that it's been in the fear range. Correct. That's why this works on just about anything. And so there are a lot of coins and even precious metals and different things like that you can use this on, to determine some possible entries and exits in the market. Okay. I say possible because, everything has its variations. Okay. There's always the rule, and then there's the exception to the rule. So of course you have to understand the risk that is associated with the rule. All right. Or when there might be exceptions to the rule. So that being said, remember, that's one of my favorites, the market cycle highs and lows. Okay. And this graph right here, and remember what it does is it takes the candles and you remove the candles, you hide the candles, and it turns it into this colorful chart pattern here. And then it gives you the, what do they call that? The palette or the graph, I guess. Whatever that's called, that basically helps you interpret what you're seeing here as far as the colors. And so everybody that understands these markets knows that they're all emotional based. The majority of the people basically, the masses are jumping off the cliffs, and the wise, the disciplined, and the wealthy understand how to utilize tools to basically outpredict the fools. Oh, that sounded good, didn't it? The wise and the wealthy understand the power of tools to outpredict the fools. Okay. And the majority of the market, unfortunately, are not made up of, disciplined, wise individuals. That's why it's important to get wise. I always tell people that pain is an incredible disciplinarian. And so sometimes you do have to get burned. You ever heard the term, get better instead of bitter? Some people, they try to win at life and they try to do things and they take risks. They're willing to take risks. But when it doesn't go well for them, many people, they do the blame game and they just sit there and they're just like, you're, the reason why I lost. And it's like, No, you're the reason why you lost. You have to determine how to get better. If you're willing to take risks, then you're the one that is responsible for determining how to improve your game. And so these are the tools that I have found that are useful for improving my game. So those are 2 out of the 3 indicators, guys. All of these have $100 off coupons today. $125 if you're inside my private community, guys. And remember, my private community is the prophetic crypto community, guys. And that's the one where I shared last week about a coin that I had a dream about, that God showed me it was going to go up exponentially. And it's up within a week over 120%. Okay. And so, and I've got several people here that I'm reading the testimonies of from my private community. I could scribble them out and edit them and share them on my screen, but because I didn't have the time, I don't have the ability. But it specifically says, one guy says, I made over 50% profit on that coin, and I rolled some of the profits or gains, he calls them, into this other coin. And I said, excellent, right? Congrats. One person says, I am up 80% since I bought it. Thanks a lot, Pastor John. And I said, praise God. And I said, I hope you've taken profits, because that's what I encourage people to do, to take profits. And knowing that I'm not a financial advisor, but we've seen it over and over again. It's almost like every time I tell people to take profits, things come down. However, I believe it's going to still go up because God showed me how much. And so I'm interested to see that take place. Now, third indicator and final indicator that's on sale is going to be this Pro Trade Manager, guys. The Pro Trade Manager. All right. Hang on a second. Why am I drawing lines? The Pro Trade Manager, what that does is it will print a dot to tell you when there's a buying opportunity. Okay. Now, let me tell you why this is so cool. Because we talked about on that other indicator, we talked about on the market cycle highs and lows, remember, that turned it into colors. We talked about how that can show you when you're in a cycle in the market where it's a buying cycle. And so this indicator has shown you that we are in the buying season for Bitcoin, meaning it is, you don't see any, well, you saw a red dot over here, right there. Okay. It told you to sell right here. But ever since then, we've been in all buys. Okay. And look that's a great thing that it told you to sell right here, because guess what? It came down. And now it's telling you to buy. These are all buying opportunities. What does that mean? It's expecting it to go up. Okay. And so, very important to know when you're in the middle of a heavier volatility season, you're going to get buys and sells. Okay. It's basically telling you take some profits after it told you to buy. Where is it? Down here. Told you to buy right here. Told you to take profits here. Told you to take profits here, because you can see all these red dots down here. Okay. Told you to take profits again over here. Wait a minute. Up here, another high side. And then it said buy right here when it dipped down. Then it said take profits up here when it went back up. This is the Pro Trade Manager, guys. This is super, super cool, man. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing's 100%. But as an 85%, average accuracy on this indicator, you got a major tool in the space, guys. And so ever since like the February crash, okay, remember the February slow as molasses flash crash. That's what I would call it. It was like the slowest flash crash. It wasn't a flash crash at all, guys. It just was a snail pace decline where the market manipulators were moving the market, as I'm sure you know, and it came down significantly. And we bottomed out really, really low. And that was the February 1st, I think is when it was, February 5th, where it finally bottomed. But again, after that, it's been basically telling you that we are in a buying zone. We are in a buying zone, okay? And it told you to buy these dips down here, okay, right here and here. And then, of course, you could have taken some profits. That's an upwards of 27, 28%, even more, 29% from those places, guys, very easily. And it didn't even tell you actually to sell any actually on the Pro Trade Manager. And I believe the reason is because it's expecting that upward momentum, that upward movement. That being said, guys, those are the three indicators. Now, remember, they work best on the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame. Okay? Those are the indicators that the sale ends. Please hear me. The sale ends in 3.5 hours, guys. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the sale ends. Just don't want you to miss it, guys. You get $100 off each one of those indicators because of the 4th of July sale that's about to end. And if you're in my private community, there's a code in there pinned at the top of the group. So right when you join, you'll get it for $125 off of each indicator. So if you join my private community and you bought 3 of these indicators, not only would you get the $100 off each one, but you'd get the $125 off each one, which means 25, 25, and 25 would save you $75 on my $120 a year private community cost. So again, if you're interested in the tools and that fits your budget, you're able to buy the 3 indicators on this sale price, then you might as well go to my private community and get in on that, where you'll only basically pay theoretically after the additional 25, $45 for the year for my private community, basically. And that's what I mean by that is you'll get it back in the coupon, the extra coupon savings. And I did not create those coupons, guys. The author, the creator of these indicators did. Don't forget they come with signals where you can set alerts. When the Pro Trade Manager issues a buy signal, you can be notified right away on your mobile device. And all of these indicators are visible on the TradingView mobile app, which is super killer. I mean, it's just super cool. And so that was impressive to me that you can see all of it. Obviously, on your desktop, you're going to have a much better view on, looking at charts, but all of 3 of these indicators are visible on the TradingView. And then the 4th one that doesn't have a coupon attached to it, I might as well show you because I like it as well. It is the EMA Distance Analyzer. This basically shows you how far away from the moving average, okay, you are in the market. And so for traders, that's huge. Obviously, the highest or the lowest points here are the biggest drops. So like, look at how far this came down. Okay, negative 23 when it crashed on February 5th. And so to be able to capitalize, on this one too, that would have been a great dip. And it issued a buy signal there, and it issued a buy signal there. But this EMA Distance Analyzer can be very, very helpful to show you how far away from the moving average you are. Because the farther away from the moving average you get, obviously, the higher the chances are of it retracing. That being said, guys, I am out. This is my final plea for these tools that will help you and me predict the crypto, Forex, precious metals, stocks, all the markets, because they work on every single chart. These indicators are fire, and it can tell you, presumably, where the market is headed next. It'll help you pin the bottoms. It'll help you exit at the tops. It'll help you in that fashion. Nothing is ever guaranteed. Obviously, nobody ever exits at the very top and nobody ever buys at the very bottom. However, you will definitely increase your chances with these indicators that use the sophistication of the professional trader on the back end with the simplicity of the user friendliness on the front end. So I get the benefit of having the mastermind creator of these input all of his professional trading data to help me to know when he would have made a decision to buy or to sell. He programmed it all into these indicators, guys. And they're just super fire to have. So last chance. The sale ends today at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless you guys. Talk to you soon.